The day started with strong winds that caused some power outages. Then came the cold front with crashing temperatures. What's next? I'll have your complete forecast first at 4.
Also ahead, tension in the courtroom. One man accused of plotting to kidnap Governor Whitmer takes the stand. Plus, that trial's at a turning point. Tired of higher gas prices? Well, silly question. Who isn't? President Biden says he knows someone who doesn't mind the higher prices, and he's got a message for them. Paula.
She escaped from Ukraine as a refugee 79 years ago, only to watch history repeat itself for her relatives.
It goes from heartbreak to just outrage, just fury.
She says she was taught to never forget, so it will never happen again, and yet it is.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Devin Skillian in for Karen Drew. First at 4, the winds have calmed down, but thousands of people still without power. Strong wind gusts were blowing through Metro Detroit all morning. We found these downed trees in St. Clair Shores near 11 Mile and 94. At this hour, more than 35,000 DTE customers in the dark. Put that in perspective, a little less than 2% of local customers. A wind advisory has expired, but temperatures have fallen nearly 20 degrees. I guess it's the old, if it's not one thing, it's another. Meteorologist Paul Gross standing by. Paul?
Yeah, hey, Devin. And those wind gusts were really strong this morning. Take a look. 51-mile-an-hour gusts in Howell, 52 in Ann Arbor, 52 in Adrian, 51 in Lapeer, near 50-mile-an-hour gusts, Pontiac, over to Metro Airport. So you can see these gusts were very, very powerful, but as expected. And right now, those gusts are generally in the 25 to 30 mile per hour range as an average across the area. A little bit above that, few a little below that. So we're making progress, but oh, how the mighty have fallen. Some of us started the day in the 60s, and now look at this. We are in the low to mid 40s across the area. And with that wind blowing out there, it's a chilly one. Storm Tracker 4 shows mostly dry. We do have one little stripe of sprinkles and very, very light rain showers, along with a little trough there. So you may see a sprinkle during the evening hours. If you're coming down for the Pistons game, just be aware it's going to be breezy and cold, with temps falling into the upper 30s by the end of the game. I'll be back with your weekend forecast in just a few, Dev.
All right, Paul. The defense is rested in the trial of 4 men accused of plotting to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Today, one of the defendants took the stand, and things got pretty tense. At one point, the judge ordered federal prosecutors and the defendant Daniel Harris to, as the judge put it, lower the temperature in the room. Harris is a 24-year-old Marine from Lake Orion. Under oath, he said several times he never agreed to kidnap the governor. Prosecutors tried to show Harris also never told the group that was a bad idea, and yet remained in a leadership role. Closing arguments are set for tomorrow, then the case will head to the jury. Nearly a century ago, the United Artists Building served up a variety of entertainment for Detroiters downtown, and now the historic building is being redeveloped into residential housing. New building will be called the Residences at 150 Bagley. It's a $75 million project that will include 148 apartments. 20% of those units will be set aside as affordable housing. Residents can expect 1- and 2-bedroom units at up to 1,300 square feet. The 18-story theater opened back in 1928. It shut down nearly 50 years ago.
I'm not sure anybody else could have done this, but it's here. They're starting work. This is really going to happen, and this beautiful building is going to come back to life.
Building is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. The new apartments could be ready by sometime in 2023. We'll keep following along. Now, a Local 4 update. Detroit police warn a suspect in a double shooting should be considered armed and dangerous. They are still searching for the person who shot and killed a security guard at a Detroit wellness center. Police say the shooter was asked to leave the clinic on Mount Elliott and then came back and opened fire. 2 security guards were shot. Deontay Davis was killed. The other guard is expected to recover. Police had released a photo of a possible suspect, but that person has been cleared. So the investigation continues. President Biden wants to bring your family some relief from higher gas prices, and this afternoon he announced a few new steps to try to make that happen, including new pressure on oil companies. Pam Osborne in the newsroom to show us what the president has planned. Pamela.
Devin, good afternoon. The president focused on both short-term and long-term goals to lower gas prices, reduce American dependence on foreign oil, and move toward cleaner energy. Right now, we're going to look at 2 ways he's trying to lower gas prices. The big headline, the president has authorized the release of 1 million barrels of oil per day for 6 months from the nation's strategic petroleum reserve. The president says he's coordinating with U.S. allies, asking them to release oil to boost supplies in a market slammed by the COVID pandemic and Russia's war in Ukraine. The president cannot control the actual price at the pump, but he's hoping the flood of new oil could lower prices 10 to 35 cents a gallon. The president is also telling American oil companies it's time to put people and patriotism before profits.
I say enough. Enough of lavishing excessive profits on investors and payouts and buybacks when the American people are watching. The world is watching. U.S. oil companies made nearly $80 billion in profit last year. And this year, those profits are expected to continue to soar. This is the time, not the time to sit on record profits. It's time to step up for the good of your country, the good of the world, to invest in immediate production that we need to respond to Vladimir Putin.
The president is asking Congress to start taxing oil companies that are sitting on unused oil permits and unused federal lands. He's hoping that will encourage them to produce more oil to lower prices for people like you and me. We're going to dig deeper into the president's plan and look for new reaction when you join us tonight at 5. For now, I'll send things back to you in the studio, Devin.
All right, and we'll see you at 5. The world is watching the movements of Russian troops in Ukraine, wondering what Vladimir Putin's next move might be. Heavy fighting raged on the outskirts of Kyiv. The other zones today, some analysts fear Moscow is using promises of de-escalation actually as a cover while regrouping and resupplying its forces. Ukraine's president says he's seeing a buildup of Russian troops, possibly for new strikes on the Donbas region in eastern Ukraine. Russian troops, though, are reportedly leaving the Chernobyl nuclear plant, heading toward the border with Belarus. The plant's operator says Russians dug trenches in the forest surrounding Chernobyl and received, quote, significant doses of radiation. When signs of illness showed up, they quickly decided to get out. That claim, though, has not been independently verified, and that's, of course, one of the tricks of covering combat at wartime. The Red Cross is sending teams to the battered city of Mariupol in southern Ukraine, hoping to rescue civilians there. And there is a new round of peace talks scheduled for tomorrow, but thus far they've done little to stop the invasion, and the trust level in what happens in those talks is not particularly high. The humanitarian crisis of the war has been staggering, and the United Nations Refugee Agency says more than 4 million people have now left Ukraine, left their homes, their daily routines. Behind those numbers are so many traumatic stories. Paula Tutman has been talking with a Ukrainian woman who was a refugee during World War II about her experience and what she's seeing now. Paula?
Yeah, hi, Devin. Miroslava actually left Ukraine as a refugee 79 years ago, but she kept her culture and keeps it with her. She says she comes down here to work on and immerse herself in all things Ukraine, to relax and to get away from the worry. No small task when she realizes that it looks like to her history is repeating itself. The voice on that cassette tape is Olha Sauchek, recounting the living and verbal history of escape from Ukraine during World War II, with a husband, small children, and one on the way. Miroslava Stefanuk was only one, but she spent 6 years as a Ukrainian displaced person, a refugee in search of a world where she could finally stop running. The voice on that cassette tape is her mother.
The war started in '39, all right? The front went through Ukraine back and forth. It was the Soviets coming in, retreating, the Nazis coming in, retreating, the Soviets coming in.
She remembers the camps.
They went through Hungary and Slovakia.
And she remembers finally setting foot in the United States as a little girl who didn't belong.
I remember the traveling and the trains and being packed on trucks and crowded in and sleeping in these huge halls with bunk beds and people crowded in, just dividing things by blankets.
She knows what it's like to learn a new language in new ways, to be what she calls a marginalized person with one foot in two different worlds.
I went to school, I didn't know the language, didn't know anything. I mean, everybody points fingers at the little stranger foreign kid.
And she knows what it will be like for Ukrainian refugees when they finally come to the States. But she believes what will be different this time will be established communities of Ukrainians who will help ease the confusion, though there will be nothing that can be done about the pain.
And they had to leave a lot of their families behind too. Elderly parents, people that couldn't go for whatever reason or chose to stay. I think that's probably the most heartbreaking part of it. I remember in our displaced person camps when my mother finally got in touch with someone from Ukraine and found out that her brother had been executed, that one had been sent to Siberia, and that her mother had died. And I remember her sitting at the table. I was a kid then, and I remember her just sobbing. Those are the kind of things that refugees deal with.
The sad irony is her mother's voice on those recordings, making sure the next generations would have the truth about their history, one they would never forget, so it would never happen again. And yet it has. So what she's doing right now is called Ukrainian Pisanki. Did I say that right? Pisanki. Yes. And what this means is they believe that as long as you write on eggs
and write these
Easter wishes, there will not be evil in the world. And she says she's got a lot of Easter eggs that she needs to decorate. This one, for instance, is for peace and hope. Devin?
Boy, that's beautiful.
Back to you.
And she's going to have to, Ukrainians going to again have to fight for that truth to be carried forward once again. All right, Paula.